Yes. Okay, awesome. Welcome everybody to our work group meeting, which is much less of a work group now and more of a an update group, I guess. I don't know. We still talk through things and I do have some discussion that I want to have with everybody today, but more of a focus on where are we at right now and how are things going after we got everything put together. So I am going to share my screen real quick. Actually, you know what? Before I share my screen, we'll do our little connection activity. We've done this a couple of weeks in a row now, but just in our team meeting, we've been doing like, what is the highlight of your weekend? And for me, it was conference related this past weekend because I got to go to a local Building on Behalf of Children conference that Child Care Network hosts. I saw Michelle, so that was great. And then also just got to see a ton of providers, childcare providers that I worked with in the past. And so that was just a wonderful experience and kind of the highlight of my weekend. So I think we all know each other, right? Like we all know each other. So no worries about like introducing yourself or whatnot, but if anybody else wants to share a highlight from your work or your weekend, then I'd love to hear about it.
Just going to hop right off mute since video does not work for me. And say I actually watched a movie, not at the theater, which was something I really wanted to do. But I have sat for the last 2 weekends and been still, which I'm not very often at all. But I binge watched Shrinking. I know you didn't ask about last weekend, but I'm pretty proud of myself. So I'm going to say that Shrinking is absolutely outstanding if you haven't watched it. It has way too many swear words, but other than that, it's really great. And this weekend I watched Song Sung Blue, I think it is, with
I
Kate
just saw
Hudson.
that.
And yes, I was not expecting it to be anything but happy and light. So I was surprised by that, but it is an outstanding movie. So that's, I think those are called recommendations. I'm a little movie and streaming show guru because I'm impressed with myself for 2 weekends of dedicating time to do absolutely nothing.
I love it so much, Robin. That's what we need, that like rest period. And now you have these great recommendations to share. I love.
Yes. So both were great.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'll go next. I had the same reaction to that movie, Robin, where I was expecting for it to just be like a fun, like rom-com
Yeah.
situation,
Yeah.
and I was like sobbing. So it was,
Yes.
um, my highlight over the weekend was one of my friends who has been trying to have a baby for 6 or 7 years is pregnant with spontaneous twins, and it was her baby shower this weekend, and it was a very emotional, like everybody there was just filled with love and support for her and her husband, and it was just one of those moments where it was like, oh, this is like your community, and this is everyone that's just like so happy for you all and here to do whatever. So it was way more emotional than I anticipated it being for a baby shower, but in a really good way.
Oh, that is so wonderful. Thank you for sharing that because that's just so like love to hear, right? That's awesome. For Kelsey and Liz, you guys both were just able to join. We're just sharing a little highlight as our connection activity today, work or weekend related, since we all know each other pretty well, and then we'll dive into our updates after that. So
I'll go next.
thanks, Michelle.
Um, so as Amy mentioned, I was at the Building on Behalf of Children conference in Ann Arbor on Saturday, and I always love that event because I get to see students from my past, and there were quite a few of them. And then I also had some people from the Early Foundations program there, and so they came and said hi, and it's just always nice to meet people in person, when you've had a cohort with them online. So it was really exciting to see past students as well as those from my cohort.
Yes. Oh, I love that you got to see some early foundations people. How fun.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise.
And I just want to thank you, Michelle and Amy, for attending and supporting us at BBC this past weekend. It was a good turnout. It was fun.
Yeah.
Um, my highlight for the weekend is I had my oldest great granddaughter yesterday for the day, and she spent the night. So I had to get up early this morning to take her to school, but it was just nice having that time with her. We went shopping and just had some fun.
How old is she,
Oh,
Liz?
good.
She's 12.
Oh, she's 12 and she stayed the night with her grandma and got to go
Yeah,
shopping.
I know. Isn't that
Oh,
awesome?
that is like my dream date. Yeah.
Grandma's always spoiled.
Yep.
Uh, I think I'm the last one, maybe.
I think
Nope.
Sarah hasn't gone,
Oh,
but you can go, Kelsey. Go for it.
great.
Kelsey, wait. Can I do yours? I'm really on a roll today. Is it
Yeah,
about your dog?
it is.
Yay! Go ahead. Get a picture out for us.
Now you can see her. This is my new baby.
Oh,
Oh,
She's my coworker. She's just been cuddling all day.
Is she a Shih Tzu?
No, she's a half Pekingese, half Pomeranian.
Oh, she has a little smush face. I
Little
love it.
squish face for sure, yeah.
how much will she weigh when she's all big? Or is she big already?
Probably under like 7 to 14 pounds. She's 3 pounds right now.
And is she a baby? I mean, she's just a puppy?
Yes, she's 10 weeks.
Oh,
And she's the best dog. Like,
what?
she's potty trained. She has had 0 accidents. She sleeps, loves her crate, wants to be in her crate all the time, and has not barked once. Is just happy to sit on a lap. So I'm gonna knock
Sounds
on some wood
ideal.
because I'm sure that I will have she'll be up all night tonight. But yeah, she's been bringing lots of joy to us.
Oh,
So she'll be in all our meetings coming up, Robin.
that's so exciting.
I cannot wait.
And does this little dog have a name?
Yes, her name is Millie.
Really? So cute.
Mhm.
I do not have a new pet that I was loving on this weekend. Our cat did get out, but he returned. He's only 10 pounds. We were very worried, but he came home quickly because he hasn't made here. I
No.
guess, yeah, the highlight of my weekend, it was pretty low key, but my 16-year-old, the oldest in our house, 6 and 16, got his license on his first try. So that was on Thursday. So this weekend, he wanted to take the car out, of course, for the whole day, right? Not just like I'm going to go out a couple minutes. So he did, and he came home and everything was fine. So that was, I guess, a highlight. It's wonderful as well as it is very scary and like, oh my goodness. And it's very high insurance cost, but it's so wonderful.
Congratulations on that. That is a big milestone. Big, big milestone.
And now you don't have to worry about it again for another 10 years, right? You've got 6 and 16, so like this one's good to go. You've got 10 more years and the next one will be ready. So,
And then somebody to help you drive the 6-year-old around.
yes. Yes. Well, thank you everybody for sharing a little bit and connecting. I love to be able to connect as people when, we're so work focused and driven to work on all of these wonderful things, but sometimes it's nice to just connect as people too. So, all right, my Zoom has been very delayed when I start sharing my screen, so it should be popping up here. Perfect. You might notice that we have a new sort of slide deck for this meeting, and we are also utilizing our new ECIC logo. So the Early Childhood Investment Corporation is rebranding. We haven't fully officially launched, but we have been instructed to use all of the new branded items, so you'll get to see all of that. And I love the light blue color. I think it's great. So we have that. But welcome to our work group meeting. Just briefly reviewing the agenda, which hopefully everybody got it in the calendar invite update. I tried something new, but I don't know if it actually sent it properly. So I probably won't do that again. I'll probably just do it the way that I know how to do it. going forward. But our agenda today, just going to go through some updates about the waitlist, current interest forms, current number of participants. And then I had it on the agenda as an update, but to talk about the stipend module as well. But we're going to kind of go through it together a little bit too, so everyone will get to see that. Have some discussion around what are your thoughts on targeted outreach and like what have you done to be successful with targeted outreach in the past? Because I think as Sarah shared last time, we utilized some different strategies for outreach before, and I want to think about some ways that we might be able to do that in a more targeted way as well. So talk about that a bit, and then some long-term data collection questions and seeing what sort of strategies you've used in the past. And then also want to be able to chat about what we think is next for the work group and where we might want to go from here. So first up, we've got our updates on the wait list. So not last week, but the week before, I sent out a message to everybody on the wait list. We had 223 people that were waitlisted after cohort decisions were made in January for the February start. And I got 103 responses from people that they would like to remain on the wait list. I had about 5 people that responded and said no, they do not want to be on the wait list anymore, that they've pursued something else or whatnot. And then the other 120 people did not respond. And so in the email, it did say, if you do not respond by April 19th, you will be removed from the wait list. And we're doing that because we want to make sure that we are able to get people in that want to be part of it and are actively responding and all sorts of things with that. So, we won't be saying like, oh, you got placed on the wait list, you didn't respond, and now you can never be part of it. They'll just have to fill out a new interest form and be reconsidered in that way. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with the interest form. Or with the wait list, excuse me. We are also working on the updating the rubric that we used to make determinations in January and switching things around because we've updated some of the language on the website to really pinpoint that this is intended for those entry level folks that haven't really pursued higher education in early childhood, maybe have some less years of experience than others. We've got a lot of people in the cohorts right now that have a lot of years of experience, like 25, 30 years of experience that are part of it. And sort of similar, we were having a conversation this morning about how that can be really beneficial. While we are focusing on career planning, we're sort of trying to work with those people and say, like, how might you be able to mentor, or how might you be able to extend what you are currently doing in your program and grow outwards if you're not thinking that, if you're thinking that this is where you want to be, that you're at the top of your career, if we're quote unquote climbing a ladder and you've reached the top there, like how can we maybe build a platform across? So trying to support folks in that way. But yeah, that's sort of where we're at interest form wise. My gosh, I can't stop. The interest form is next. The wait list. This is where we're at with the wait list. Now we're going to talk about the interest forms. So we relaunched the interest form at the end of February, and as of today, we have 72 people that have completed the interest form. We have implemented a new practice with the interest form and conducting outreach to those that submit it. It is stated in the paragraph of the interest form that they can see when they click into it. Within 10 business days, they'll be receiving an email. So I've just been pulling the information of who's completed, sending out an email to confirm that we have received it, but then also sending an email if they haven't completed it, like, hey, we see that you started this. Did you want to finish it? Are you still thinking about this? Whatnot? to try and make sure that people are either recognizing that they haven't completed it or maybe drawing them back in if they just, thought, oh, well, maybe this won't be for me. So we've got 72 completed as of today. So all of those will be evaluated with that new rubric, like I was mentioning. So everybody on the wait list will be reevaluated, and then the new interest forms will be evaluated as well. So that kind of leads us to the update of our current participants. We have 74 participants right now. We started by inviting 93. We had 70 people that responded and said, yes, I want to be part of this, or responded at all. And so when we were down at 70, I was like, okay, we need to invite some more people because our goal was to have 80 finishers this time around. So I invited 11 more people, spoke with them all on the phone, said, do you want to be part of this? We're getting rolling here. And they said yes. And then 6 of them pursued it actually after that. So we were up to 76 from 70. And now we've had a couple of people that have withdrawn due to personal reasons. So we're at 74 right now, and that's across all 4 cohorts. And like I mentioned, we talked about it in December that we were going to be utilizing consultants. Also, just as a sidebar, I'm so sorry that I wasn't at our last meeting. And shout out to Sarah for leading it and doing a great job with that. I unfortunately had to drive overnight from Minnesota to make it home. So we left there around 10 p.m. and I got back to my house at 12:30 p.m. and I was like, oh, I could jump on the meeting, but I didn't do that. So thank you, Sarah, for holding down the fort. And if there's anything from the last meeting that we want to talk about too, we can do that if we want to expand on anything from there. So we'll get to that. But yeah, we've got 4 contracted consultants that are providing those group and individual meetings now. So where I was running the cohort last time, I do not actually have a cohort of participants this time. Just really overseeing what is going on across the board. But I have been the person developing all of the content for those group meetings and things like that. And then sort of supporting when we've got people that have different things coming up, whatever that might look like for them, and providing some of those individual TA supports along with their consultant to make sure that everybody is getting what they need. What questions might you have about the updates that I shared so far?
Amy, can you share a little bit more about the contracted consultants? They're like, what was the requirement for that role?
Yeah. So we were looking for folks, of course, that had some, infant, toddler knowledge and experience, early childhood knowledge, and then the sort of coaching background, because we couldn't really bring them in and train them on how to be a coach at that point. So we have the 4 people that we have. One of them is an infant toddler specialist. So she's doing this, on top of her infant toddler specialist duties. We have somebody, her name's Nicole, who's done a lot of work with the registered apprenticeship program with the Child Care Innovation Fund. And so she had submitted and has a lot of that coaching experience, was a center director, and things like that. We also have Rachel McKissick Harris, who has been doing a lot of great work just across the board. And she is also a PD specialist for the CDA and has a lot of that good coaching experience. And so she was included. And then somebody else who was recommended by one of the resource centers had previously worked at the resource center, did some contracting. She's up in the Northwest region. And so that is Anne. And then our infant toddler specialist is Julie. So yeah, a good array of sort of backgrounds that they're coming from, but everybody has that piece in common that they've done the coaching or they've done the piece of, working with adults and not just children. And so that was something that we were really looking for to make sure that it wasn't just like, at one point somebody had said maybe a previous ITCC participant could then lead a cohort, but we did not go that route, just because while they have tons of experience some of them had tons of experience in the classroom, less of that adult learning experience that we needed there. So, yeah.
Amy, were there any specific reasons why any original cohort participants left recently once the cohort was already in session?
One of the people had reached out and just said, like, they have a lot going on. They switched jobs. They're just feeling like they can't pursue this right now. Their consultant had shared with me, like, they are a single parent. They are, just life. And so I think that that's just gonna happen, right? And then the other person, I didn't get a lot of details, just that they didn't come to the last group meeting and then they sent an email and said, I can't be part of this anymore, personal reasons, whatever. So, just it seems like life gets in the way sometimes, and that's okay. I did reach out to the person who was active up to the point of saying, like, I can't do this right now. And we said, would it make sense, or what would you think about being able to participate in the next cohort period? Like, do you feel like that would be a better time for you? Would you feel more settled? I can check back in with you in July. And they said, yes, they're still very interested in pursuing it and wanting to be part of it. It's just not feasible for them right now. So we'll check back in with them, come summertime and see where they're at. We don't want to lose people, of course, in the cohort, but we also want to honor that space for people that do want to pursue it and want to be here. So, another thing that we're thinking we'll do next time is really overfill the cohorts, like really overfill them. This time, everybody had like 23 or 24 that were invited. And part of that was because when it got to the rubric, we had so many people that had the same score next. It would have either been inviting like these 90 people or 110 people, and that felt like too many. So making those sort of determinations, and just trying to allow that. I know that's not the full question that you asked, Sarah. Sorry, I kind of went off on a little tangent of information, but
That gave good information to what I was looking for, so that makes total sense. Thank you for that.
yeah, thanks for the question. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna stop my share real quick, and pop over to the stipend module. I did put a slide up, but it's we don't really the slide is useless, because it's not the module. So we I'll just tell you what was on that slide. On the 9th of April, we got to get a demo from New World Now, about the stipend module, so that we could see sort of what was going on in there. So I would love to show you all where we're at. We're hoping that we'll be able to launch it in May. It might be June, which we need it for June, so it needs to be June at the latest. But we are hoping that it'll be May, so that way, if there's any like issues or anything, we'll be able to flag those. It's just loading. As much as the test or the regular registry site takes to load. Sometimes the test site is like, yeah, we're working hard in here. All right, let's get to that screen. Perfect. Okay. So this is my test account. When you get access to the test site, you make a registry account basically like you would for your regular account, but then none of the information is actually there, which is why none of my information is in here. So it's just sort of a placeholder. So if I'm just logged in, this is like the personal view. Over here is now the certificates and stipends option for, people that are logged in to be able to see. So this is just from like the public facing view. They would be able to go into the certificates and stipends. It looks pretty basic. So from here, no certificates or stipends are being reviewed. You would hit continue. And then it takes right now, since the ITCC is the only stipend slash certificate in there, it takes them right to the application for that. So there is the personal information that you would confirm, employment information. I have none. We did flag with them. There wasn't a way for anyone to identify themselves as a license exempt provider. So we have flagged that with them because that's something that we need since we have LEPs, and something that we had discussed, but then sort of got missed in the implementation of what that's actually going to look like. So I'm going to confirm that I have no employment, clearly. And then you can go to the certificates and stipends right here, and it shows you the different incentives and things like that. So we've got the infant toddler caregiver certificate. The regular person would read through all of this. The eligibility is right here. And then this check eligibility exists. It's going to tell me that I'm not eligible because I have none of the requirements. But if they did, then it would pop up to allow them to complete an application. So we can look at that too. I'm going to close this and then I'm going to go up here. So this is something that we were all sort of talking about when we were thinking about like mentor credential. Maybe the MI-ITCC is the stipend administration capabilities in the system. So this is sort of the inner working of the stipend side. So over here, you've got a lot of different options. Then you can see the request management, processing, the registry reports are in here. So if we go to, we're already in the request management. We can see like these are the test accounts that they've been creating for us. These ones are all in application. This one's closed. They've been approved as we were testing. This one's open. So let's see what's in this one real quick. So if we click on manage, oh, this is the one that I started. You can see like this is on our back end, but we're able to review the request and see the training populate here. We're able to say, yes, we received all of this documentation, and then go from there with that information. We've got our status check here so that we can open those and close them. Yeah, so this is a little bit of the inner workings of the stipend module. We are hopeful that it will be easy for folks to use on the front side and then also easy for us on the processing end. And like I said, we'll need it for June because that's when our next cohort ends, and hopefully it'll be available there. Yeah. Do you have any questions or requests of things that you'd like to see inside of the module?
Amy, does the language stipend as the module have to stay called stipend module?
That's a really good question, Robin. It is what it existed as. And
Yeah.
so that is how we were sort of instructed to pursue it. But I mean, I don't know how difficult it is to rename a module um, when it's just a name, right? It's not the capability.
Well, Kelsey and her team, we are meeting with New World now. I think we're starting to get some dates on the calendar. I don't know that we have it secured yet. Um, Kelsey, I could be wrong. But we can certainly ask that question. And then also, I think there was a screen that you showed that said certificates and something else. And we might want that to say certificates and credentials or,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't, obviously, anything that is updated to support the mentor credential and possibly YDA has to work for all three, right? Or
Yes.
what we think is coming. So we'll
Yeah.
certainly be mindful of that. In those conversations, but I probably will ask some questions about what pieces are a no language can be changed. And I'm just thinking stipend module may not be the thing that says to the person, let me just see if I might be able to participate in one of these stipend module activities, right? It just doesn't.
Yeah. Well, and right, so the right here on the flyout, it's certificates and stipends. So like if we could change that, like you were saying, to certificates and credentials, that would probably make sense for what we need. Um, I can also flag it with them too. We have a document for our like testing information to say this isn't working right or whatnot. So I can flag it as a question in there as well. And then if we're looking at, yeah, like up here, no certificates or stipends are being reviewed. And then I think was it in, yeah, the stipend application, like it could it say certificate or credential application?
Mhm.
Like what does that take? So yeah, definitely can flag that for New World.
And just
Um,
an update, you know, that on the registry side, we're also testing that trainer piece. And I
yes.
did just get a note today that the updates that they made to fix some things have created new issues. So they're still working very hard on the registry team is working very hard on their side because we also, you know, want a May release for this. So, but they are tied together. So,
Yes.
unfortunately, that is not going quite as smoothly as we would like, but they are committed to continuing the back and forth. And as long as New World Now can fix the things that are new problems, they'll continue to test the things because we don't want to launch anything that has a lot of bugs or any
Yeah.
bugs if we have the choice.
Right? Of course. Yeah, Aaron did send Melissa and I an email earlier about something with the W-9s, which shouldn't be in there because we are not collecting W-9s within the system. I know that checkbox was there to say that we have a W-9, but that is like our internal processing is doing that. We're not putting any W-9 information into the registry. So hopefully all of those things can get worked out quickly. But yeah, and then similarly, right, with like stipend administration, could it be like credential administration or something, right? Like, yeah, I'll flag all of that with them too.
Yeah, I think we were really hoping to get stipend completely removed because we really, any stipends we're issuing are going to be outside of the system. And while we can offer stipends right now, that's not always the case going forward. So would hate to
Yeah.
have that language up and then not be offering it.
Yeah, and it's especially interesting because I remember in our initial conversations with New World, we said, like, can we turn stipends off? And they said yes. And that's within the system. We have here, I'm going to stop my share for just a second so that I can find the other document without going crazy. But in the system, the certificate application and the stipend application are separated. So that way they would be able to just turn off the stipend portion of it or hide it or whatever they do on the back end to be able to, remove that because why would we like we don't want to keep it there if we're not actually offering stipends at the time. Um, so this is, find one that has all of the eligibility requirements. New World Now provided us with just open the document, a list of test accounts that they created that they basically like created some trainings that met the requirements, some groups of trainings so that it would be easier for everybody to see what or to test the process, I guess, like the. So let me pull that up real quick and then we can do that too. Share. Okay. So, to do this, basically, I have to impersonate this person that they've created to be able to see all of the things. So, we'll do that real quick on the membership side. And Kelsey, I'm sure that like this is something that they would give all of you as well if you were testing for the mentor credential. Okay. So I am now stipend Beth, they created all of these like fake accounts and whatnot for everybody. So I am like stipend Beth 7 or something like that is how they labeled them out. So if we do, like I was showing earlier, go to the certificates and stipends, hit apply. It's gonna have me review the personal information. Yep, stipend 7, that's me. We're going to review this. It does have the compensation listed in there, hours per week verified by my registry. And then if we do this in the manage right now, again, like it just shows the ITCC, but it would show the others in this section too. So I would hit my check eligibility. And then it's gonna not let me do the stipend because like I haven't been awarded the certificate yet. So until I'm awarded the certificate, I'm not eligible for the stipend. So for the documentation, you add file, it takes you to your files. You can upload whatever is there. I'll upload my Zoom background. And then you can hit like, yes, I want the stipend to go with this, but we process the application and then the stipend processing is in a separate section. I would hit save and confirm and like submit application. I agree. The application is submitted. So then the person sees it differently. They see their what they've submitted. They see that they also like put in for the stipend, and then this is where they would be able to see any of those request notes. So if I end my impersonation here, and go back to the stipend admin and switch that. Then you can see on this side, like these are both pending, so I would manage that and then be able to approve both things. Like I can approve this, I can approve this. We have to say that we have all of these things. You get to see documentation here, can review the request. This is what I'm like, this is where all of the training things would show up. But since they created this one to just say, yes, I'm meeting all of the requirements, that's what it shows. And we can approve and approve. I'm gonna approve both of them so that I can show you the other side. But yeah, that's the like, right, that's why they're separated out there, making that easier to move on. It does automatically fill in $1,000, but you can edit the amount. So I can do process the stipend. Yes, request has been closed. In the stipend processing section, then you can see they're still awaiting payment. So like that's where we're actually processing if they've been paid or not. If you manage or you hit process stipends, there you go. And you would approve them. Like that's after they get paid that we would say they've been paid here.
Amy, don't you get like a spreadsheet of anyone that needs to be paid as part of?
Yeah, it's in the reports. They do like the batch. Um, I will have to refresh myself on all of the steps
Yeah.
exactly through the demo. That's why I'm so glad for that. All of the reports live in here. And the certificate and stipend reports are at the very bottom because we're so new. The stipend payments report is here. So this is the other thing that we were talking about. This would exist for like everybody, all of the certificates and stipends being in the same spot. But they did set up the filter over here so that we would be able to only pull for the one that we belongs to us. And then it shows the stipend payments. So yeah, that's our module so far.
I'm so glad you're going first. I get to learn.
Thank you. Thanks, Kelsey.
You're doing great.
Doing great, sweetie. Yeah. Well, of course, I mean, right, if we find things that aren't working, that aren't functioning, like we're gonna want to make improvements to make it work. We'll see how that goes going forward, but I do look forward to you guys, like you working with them for the mentor credential and just seeing what might be different with adding additional cer credentials in there and what does that change? So,
Yeah, this is definitely a question for them, but I wondered on the like, do we even have to use the stipend? Because we manage all of that tracking and payment
internally, right?
through we'll be actually using our Teach database for
Mm,
those things, so we can get their data in there too. And that links to our accounting processes. So I
right.
wondered then, like, if is it all or none? Like we all have to be using it, things that we'll learn along the way.
Yeah, I would imagine not just because of how they were able to set it up and like separate them out
Here,
for
Yeah,
us, right?
I thought that maybe too, based on that separation. So you, based on what you click as the thing you're working on, is gives you whether or not you have two things or you have one.
yeah.
Hmm.
I think we talked about this a little bit too, and we'll have to think through if we do use it, what that, because we would have to get data share agreements in place because of that showing everybody's
Mm,
information, based on, you could select which stipend or credential you were seeking the stipend payment report from. Or maybe that, I don't
I
know,
wondered
Robin,
if that could be a role related access piece, but maybe
yeah,
not. I don't know. Based on the way they set that report up, they are looking at it as a filter rather than as if I am supporting X credential, I only see X credential um,
right.
information. So, but that may
Yeah,
have
we
to be
can check
part of
with
the
them.
application. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing to flag too. Yeah. So, good stuff coming, but also still figuring out like what once it's really being utilized, we always find things, right? So, exciting going forward, but
So how many are you anticipating will actually use it in June?
Hopefully
Your thoughts?
74.
70. Okay.
Everybody currently enrolled.
Yeah. Yes. Everybody currently enrolled, everybody that meets the requirements at the end. Um, at this point in time, I've curbed my expectation a little bit. Obviously, we're not going to get 80 because we don't have 80 people. But I'm hoping that we'll get at least 70 that go through because that'll put us on track to still be close to that 250 if we have that same sort of amount of people um, over time. So, yeah. Okay, so we've got about 10 minutes left. So I would love to just hear a little bit or think a little bit about some strategies that we might be able to use for more targeted outreach to those entry level folks and how we might be able to reach them specifically. Last time we used the Friday flyer. Robin connected with the registry and we were able to get messages sent out through there. Both of those were very successful. That those two things exponentially increased the number of interest forms that we received. I did hear from the people in the cohorts right now that a lot of them found out about it because their director forwarded them the email or told them about it. So it does seem like it was trickling down to those, in the programs. I just wonder about like how have you reached directly to people in the past, like directly to people in programs in the past?
No, if you figure it out, you can let us know though. That'd be
Great.
great.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I mean, you can send to anyone with center employment, but then you're going to also get anyone that works in a 3-year-old classroom and a 4-year-old
Right.
classroom or a preschool, so there's not a way to identify based on we don't have the ability in the registry anyway to
Hmm.
filter by classroom employment, if you will.
Right.
And certainly we could put something in a news for now that just specifically tells who the target is. And that also goes to everyone with an account in the registry. So
Hmm.
we also have a way to just target LEPs specifically
Right.
because we know who those people are based on having an ID.
I was about to offer teach targeted infant toddler, but they're not your target.
Not our clients, yeah.
They're already engaged in
Yeah.
education.
Hmm.
Which is awesome, right? That's a
Yeah.
good problem.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
We did some
Definitely early. I'm sorry, this is a very small pocket, but at least, Michelle, your groups and early foundations, anyone that you're working with with infants and toddlers obviously would be a great, feed into the ITCC
Yeah.
before CDA.
I was just gonna say, and I don't know if this would work or not, but we've done a few of the nap time nugget presentations around consultation, and so that was one way. And then we've been doing some like real upstream outreach to for like mental health consultants to like graduate programs and things like that.
Mm.
What we've discovered is that a lot of them have like listservs or message boards or some other mechanism for kind of updating alumni.
Mm.
And so I'm not sure if that could potentially be an opportunity for like new graduates from wherever.
Hmm.
I
New
know that this,
graduates, though, not the target, Gillian. We want people that this is their first step.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do wonder about it as like similarly to how the directors were sharing, like,
That they
that sort
might,
of trickle
yeah,
down. But
that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
I think it's good to know that those options exist also, Gillian, for other things, right? Because that is a harder group sometimes to get at.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nap time nugget suggestion though. Robin, did we just talk about that? I feel like that just came up somewhere else.
Well, we were just on one, so
Maybe
some
that
of
was
us.
why it stuck in my
So
brain.
maybe that's what um, I think we have, and that is certainly an option. I know Lisa said the next month is booked, but maybe the following month if that timing makes sense.
Maybe,
But again,
yeah,
it's not an all, right? Everyone, there's not something for
right,
everyone. There's
Yeah.
just
right.
something for infants and toddlers. Although, well, I was going to say consultation could be perceived that way, but it's not. It's more of an all. There's, yeah,
Yeah, but I think too, and maybe I'm misunderstanding how that's set. In my mind, I liken it to our office hours where the topic is shared ahead of time. So it's kind of like an opt-in. This is of
this is
interest.
relevant. Okay, yeah.
Oh, but I don't know if like their goal in organizing is we want it to be birth to five. Like we don't want specific I'm not sure like the planners might say like, oh, we don't want to do that because it would, our 3, 4, 5 year olds wouldn't be able to, teachers wouldn't be able to participate or
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and I do think not a lot of classroom level staff would be, or family child care providers, maybe more family child care providers than classroom level staff would actually attend that.
Hmm.
But their administrator, possibly, I don't know. But
Yeah.
you did sort of, the Friday flyer gave the specifics of the who, right? And again,
Yeah.
that may get to some classroom level folks, but for the most part, I would think that the director, admin level person would be the person that's on that list serve rather than, all 100 staff at a program, which is sometimes a disadvantage, I think, right? Like sometimes directors just miss it and then they've missed it and no one, it doesn't trickle down, if you will.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it is tricky. So, but I appreciate the conversation and we'll definitely think about some of those different ways that we might be able to reach people. We did utilize, the ECIC bulletin newsletter that goes out, and I put information out in the loop, which goes to licensed childcare providers. So we have shared a little bit, but again, it's like very similarly not always reaching the people,
The
right? So,
participant level person, yeah.
yeah.
I think
Um,
too, maybe when coaches are out sharing results of their self-reflections and stuff, if we had a flyer that we could share with programs as we're visiting.
yeah. I need to get connected with the print station to get them sent directly to resource centers, I think.
Mhm.
So I will put that on my check-in list with Joan for this week to see what we can do about that. Yeah,
Rob,
thanks, Liz, for that.
Robin, didn't Lisa say, I don't remember what survey it was. Didn't she say that it like came through in a survey that providers were preferring to get like snail mail?
Yes, she did say that.
Come
And
back
I always say
around.
that with that gruff voice because that is so hard, right?
Yeah. So that's been something we've been thinking because we're really trying to get our virtual consultation stuff like more
Which I'm
recognized.
sad. I want your virtual consultation to be on fire, Gillian. I want you to
I
not
know.
have enough people to serve all the people.
Yes.
So we're actually considering like a postcard campaign
Hmm.
in
Ah,
those counties, which is going to be a bit pricey, but we have the financial support right now. But anyways, just wanting to share that because that was really surprising to me that folks were like, we want snail mail. We're not always on our email. Like we're not checking that. We miss stuff. And I was like, that makes sense to me given what your job is. And it's like you're constantly go, go, go.
Hmm.
Okay, what is snail mail?
Just regular mail.
Okay.
yeah, just right. Yes, just post office delivered.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Great question.
Um, so we have probably 30 seconds left, maybe less. And I just wanted to very quickly revisit our cadence and see how everybody is feeling. I know that we had back-to-back month meetings this time because we rescheduled the February meeting. But are we feeling like every other month is still working? Do we want to transition to meeting quarterly? Is 1 hour still feeling like it's okay? I know we're pushing it right this moment, but like, and I can send a follow-up survey, but this is sort of like the group, right? That is coming. We don't always have other people that are coming. I know like Brooke Jay usually comes, but it's sort of been this same like group that has been coming for a while. So bye, Robin. See you soon. Um, so yeah, I can send it in a survey or whatnot, or you can give me your opinion now before we jump off. But just thinking, how often do we want to keep meeting? Or do you feel like we should keep meeting?
I would love to keep meeting, and I would love to meet in June when you're kind of, or even maybe right after when
Mm-hmm.
you're, going through the big
Yeah.
application.
Yeah. I think that our next meeting in June is scheduled for like right after processing and everything. So that one seems like it's at a good time. And then the next one I think is August, which would be right after we started our next cohort. So like those two sort of feel like they fall within a good time. I'm curious about, I guess maybe we revisit then.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I don't want a meeting to be another challenge when you're in the midst of wrapping everything up.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't think that they're a challenge for me, and I like having them and being able to, share about the work that's happening and what we've all sort of helped to create. But I'm gonna stop my recording.